Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and I want to talk about rootless voicings today. Every chord has a root, but you don't have to play it. Let's jump in. Okay, what's the use of a rootless voicing? Well, for a pianist, I have the 5 fingers. And if I want to play a chord that has 5 or 6 notes in it, I'm going to have to toss something. And weirdly, the thing to toss is the root. Okay, let's just kind of like do a little review. We'll talk about how this works. Let's take a quick inventory of the diatonic chords in a major scale. There's the 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3, also a minor 7 chord. And there's another major 7 chord on 4. The dominant chord on 5, another minor 7 chord on 6, and then this diminished chord, half diminished chord on 7, and then I'm back around again. And those chords all have sort of specific quality, major or minor, and specific extensions. And what makes, for me, rootless voicings useful is I want to add extensions. Well, the truth is, and of course I only tell the truth here, the important notes are we need to know what the root of the chord is and the 7th. So root and 7th, root and 7th, root and 7th, root and 7th. It still sounds like the chord. Now, if I get rid of the root and do that, it'll still sound like the chord in a way. Especially when I get there to the dominant chord. It turns out the 3rd and the 7th are absolutely crucial for establishing the sound of a chord. And that means I can't throw away those 2, but I could throw away the root or maybe the 5th. Let me show you an example of a couple of chord progressions with the basic 4 notes. And then if I want to add extensions and what I toss. A really common chord progression is 2, 5, 1, or even further back into the cycle, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. It's around the circle of fifths, or around what my teacher called the harmonic highway, which is that little section of the circle of fifths that is in any diatonic scale. So here's D minor 7, here's G7, here's C major 7. And I just played very simple 4-note voicings. D minor 7 is D, F, A, C. I'm going to do it down lower now. D, F, A, C. But there are extensions. There's the 9th and the 11th. Now, I can't do that with one hand. I can do the 9 chord with one hand, but that's all 5 notes, right? I could do this. 5 notes. But I'll tell you what, I don't need the root, I don't need the D. So what if I move that shape up and just play those notes? That's my first example of a rootless voicing. I put the root, maybe the bass player plays it. Immediately, it's a jazzier sound. Do you hear it? If you look at it, it looks like an F major 7 chord, but the root is not on the bottom, the 3rd is on the bottom. Let's look at the dominant chord, G. All right, so you know that G7 has a 9th, maybe a sharp 11, and a 13th. That's a lot of notes. Again, I can't do it with one hand. I could spread it out if I want to, but I'm looking for a way to create a powerful voicing with only, say, 4 notes. All right, I'm going to throw out a couple of notes. I'm going to throw out the root, and I'm going to throw out the 5th. So I just played D minor 7 like this. Now, as it happens, F is also in the G chord, so I have to keep it, right? Kind of my voice leading rules. We've talked about this before. Here's my rootless. It's a little thing hanging out in space right here, but this is my rootless G13. 7th, 9th, 3rd, 13th. It's a really powerful sound. D minor 9, G13. Here I'm going to go to C6-9. That was a rootless voicing of C. The third was on the bottom. There's a fifth, there's a sixth, and there's a ninth. This is a classic jazz sound, isn't it? Watch it one more time. Rootless voicings allow you to sort of put the important notes forward, the third and the seventh, and add those special umami tones, ninths, spicy raised 11ths, 13ths for thickness and richness into the voicing. These voicings are like one-hand jazz piano voicings, but we could easily expand, blow out those voicings from being closed, all fitting into an octave, to being open. They sound great in orchestra. Somebody in the band is probably going to be playing the root, right? But it doesn't have to be you. These voicings work great in horns. Like there's something about the crunch of the second and then the fourth on the top of there that is really fantastic in brass. You see and hear that kind of arrangement all the time in soul, neo-soul, and pop. Well, I hope this has been useful. Rootless voicings is a big topic, and you can explore it more. I learned about rootless voicings, I think, in college, and then later I found this book by Mark Levine, a jazz piano book that is a great exploration of it. I highly recommend this book. There are terrific YouTube teachers as well. Generally speaking, folks who are focusing on piano and keyboard playing. But it's well worth looking into. Hit me up with any questions you may have. Like and subscribe and ding the bell. You'll be notified when I do my videos, and I'll see you next time.